Right, going live. I think that should be us pretty much on. Let me know when you see things, but I'm...
Oh, yeah, it's gone to advert.
It's gone to advert, which means we are probably live. Hello everybody, hello, how are you doing? It's wonderful to see those of you who have been waiting in the chat and those who are going to be filtering in. I'll let people sort of filter in a little bit, so I'll just sort of introduce the stream and what's going on. For those who have never been to this channel and never seen the Arcane Forge, I'm Josh. I run this channel and I draw generally monsters and talk way too much about their lore and draw stuff. I'm going to be joined today by my lovely wife Yvonne, who's going to be reading your comments, and hopefully together we're going to be building some magic items together. There's a tiny bit of a delay on your chat versus what we see, so don't worry if it seems like we've kind of skipped your comment or whatever, or we're not getting around to your comments. There's usually quite a lot of comments and there's a bit of a delay, so we are reading them, and Yvonne will be reading out some of your comments to me as we go. This is the return of the very well loved magic item workshop. It's something that I used to do a few videos of, interspersed with my kind of Monster Mondays and things like that, where I would draw magic items either that have been homebrew concepts that I wanted to put in the game, or that you guys liked, or are actual items that have already been in the game in D&D and just need some visualization and are fun to draw, basically. But I found that kind of we didn't end up getting like too much time to research them and have fun with them and do the proper justice to them, so they got a bit more sidelined compared to other videos like Monster Mondays that are a lot more popular. But my patrons over on Patreon recently, as one of the kind of reward tiers for us reaching a certain amount each month, unlocked the return of magic item workshops, of which this is the first one, in the form of live streams, so we can kind of make things together, which I think is going to be a bit more fun. And today, due to the emergence of the Wilds Beyond the Witchlight, I think it is, book that's coming out soon, all about the Feywilds, and the Bandersnatch video that we did recently, and just general requests, I thought today we could do two things. We could draw what a Vorpal Sword looks like, because Vorpal Swords are great. They are Fey weapons. They come from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland sort of book series, and that totally bizarre world. And they've been in D&D for a really long time. They're really great items. And I thought also included within that as things which are in some way intrinsically tied to the poem of the Bandersnatch and the Jabberwocky and the Jubjub bird is also a weapon that has never become a part of D&D, but is mentioned in the same breath as the Vorpal Sword, something called the Winxy pistol. So I wanted to draw the well-established Vorpal Sword. We can talk about what it does and kind of help that flavour how we illustrate it, but I'm going to need your suggestions to help with that, and also come up with what a Winxy pistol looks like, how it works, and what it can do, and then I can maybe homebrew those up and stick them on D&D Beyond. As for what these things are going to look like, I want to hear your ideas. I'm looking at what a Vorpal Sword looks like in 5th edition right now officially, and no surprise that it looks a little bit like the Master Sword from The Legend of Zelda is kind of what they've come up with, but I think we can come up with something less conventional, I guess. Not that the Master Sword is not fun, but it's kind of like an orange and black version of the Master Sword, which doesn't say Fey to me. That doesn't say Feywild to me, especially for a legendary 3+ sword. Yeah, it's an absolute amazing piece of kit. We are told that when you attack a creature that has at least one head with this weapon and roll a 20 on the attack roll, you cut off one of the creature's heads. The creature dies if it can't survive without a lost head, which is most. A creature is immune to this effect if it's immune to slashing damage, doesn't have or need a head, has legendary actions, or if the GM decides that the creature is too big for its head to be cut off with this weapon. And honestly, what GM is doing that? Because that just sounds like an epic thing that's going to come up once in a blue moon. Such a creature instead takes 6d8 slashing damage from the hit. So that's kind of the gist of the Vorpal Sword. That's all the information we have on Vorpal Swords, generally, aside from what we make up. But I want to hear your take on it, and I want to hear from you guys.
Alright, cool. We've got a few people here. We've got Jonathan, Steve, Ace,
Hey guys.
Adman, York's here, Frostmute,
nice.
Nikolai, Bram. I think I've got everybody there.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, guys.
So I'm on the same boat as York, and that until the Bandersnatch video, I hadn't even heard about Winxy Pistol.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Winxy.
Yeah, it's like
Winxy?
it's. I'll write it on the screen, but it's Winxy pistol.
Okay, Winxy.
So a Winxy pistol was the invention of the lady whose name I now forget, but she was doing kind of tribute stories and kind of following on the stories of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, right, okay.
And sort of more fleshed it out. I think it is actually in the original Lewis Carroll as well, but it's certainly in her writing. That's where I found the name anyway, as something that is essential for the slaying of a Jabberwock or a Bandersnatch.
Okay, so I might have some difficulty reading these this time because since it's based on kind of gobbledygook language, plus the fact that I don't recognise a lot of these names anyway, I'm just going to go with it. Right. Frostmute says, so excited, working on some prelim prep for Wild Beyond the Witchlight now, so this will be handy.
Wonderful stuff.
And Nikolai says the Winxy pistol should leave a lesser trail behind when unshaved.
Unsheathed.
Unshaved.
What? So it should leave a what? A lesser trail?
Laser trail? Maybe?
Oh, laser trail. Oh, okay.
Laser trail.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Oh, I thought this was like going into some sort of Mighty Bush realm of like kind of.
I mean, to be honest,
unshaved would be the thing.
To be honest, like if you have to shave a Winxy pistol before you use it, guys. Yeah, I mean you could. This is the like Mighty Bush is totally Lewis Carroll in my head. Like that level of complete mad nonsense that somehow becomes canon the more you say it. Seems very, very like a kind of Lewis Carroll thing. To start off with, I thought a Vorpal Sword would be kind of like an easier thing to draw. So I've been doing, if you've not caught them, on my Instagram, and I've been trying to in the Discord as well, post every day this month. I've been doing Sword Timber. I've been forgetting to post it on the Patreon, actually.
Oh, okay.
I started off and then I totally forgot. But Instagram, I've been posting like videos of these swords being drawn, and I've found that generally speaking, I tend to draw a sword, just a sword, in about half an hour to an hour.
That's not bad, Gordon.
I think that's pretty good. So I thought we could basically start off with what a Vorpal Sword looks like, because we know what it does at least, right? And we could be taking ideas of what a Winxy pistol could look like and does while I draw a Vorpal Sword.
Shall I just catch you up in the comments?
Yeah, please, yeah, absolutely.
Frostmute says, I do like the idea of the blade being an abnormal colour, so does Yorick. I've always imagined it as a bit like a scimitar, but Vorpal I think can be applied to a number of blade types.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, a curved blade just looks sharper to me. Yeah, says Frostmute. The Vorpal Sword should look like a falchion or machete.
So I know what a falchion is. So a falchion is a
machete.
Machete.
Oh my God,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. That's
don't you worry.
Sorry,
Do
Nikolai,
not worry.
Butchering that there.
Do not worry. So a falchion is like a machete that's used specifically for cutting through armor. It's like a big, heavy, like manchete, basically.
I'm on a roll tonight. Steve says, I like the idea of a Vorpal sword looking a bit like a Greek Delphos, a sort of blade that bulges towards the middle.
Let's have a look.
Because that also brings the legend of the Hydra from classical Greece.
Oh, that's a really nice connection. I like that.
Steve says Snicker Snack.
Snicker Snack indeed. It needs a Snicker Snack.
Okay. Winxy Club Pistol. And the lady author you were looking for, Steve thinks it's Anna Matlack Richards.
Yes, Anna Matlack Richards. Thank you for watching my video, or just knowing that information and retaining more than I did about it.
Yara says, I think it should be a longsword to pay tribute to the artwork that depicts Alice. At least, I think it's Alice. Depicts her fighting a Jabberwocky.
Ooh, interesting.
Nikolai, sorry, I'm not great at reading. Don't worry, it's not your English. Jonathan Foster says, pixie wings are often depicted as clear and gauze-like. How about the guard gives that kind of vibe?
Oh, I like that idea very much.
Steve says, fun fact, curved blades magnify the sharpness of a blade slightly because of how the human arm works. It maintains the cutting edge along the arc of the slashing motion very slightly. This is
one of my favourite things ever about human technology in general. I know that made me sound like an alien, but so one of my favourite weapons in existence, which is another strange sentence, but the khopesh, the Egyptian khopesh, is my favourite type of sword because it curves. It's like it juts outwards, and that's purely because an arm can't be fully straightened in line with the length of a blade, so it starts slightly lower so that you get a better cutting angle, and it's far more forceful than any other sword in history. So I think that was a really fun thing.
It must be a really terrible mind that comes up with these sort of thoughts.
Yeah, thankfully we don't have use for swords in the modern day, but in D&D we do need something that can do that kind of thing.
Bram suggests an executioner sword, about 7 foot long.
Oh my god, what's an oh right, yeah, of course. That sounds very cool. I'm going quite sort of... I like the idea of a curved blade. I like the sound of that. So I'm going very sort of fairy with it so far. And I'm not sure... It doesn't seem very sleek, though. That's the thing. I want to go kind of elven. I want to go kind of sleek. What am I doing here? Let's see. Why don't I get some inspiration from real swords? So we have this Delphi Sword that was mentioned.
Yep.
I can't find what that actually is. I'm googling the wrong thing. The only like sort of Greek and Roman sword I can think of is a gladius. But if you have like a link to this or something like that you can send, I'd love to see exactly what you're talking about here. Either way, I think if we curve it, I think what I want to generally do is have a hilt that goes into almost like an S shape, and then I want to have the main blade of this sort of like curved. Do I want to curve it up or curve it down? I think I want to curve it up, and that to me says a kind of like elven or fey kind of weapon. We'll give it a nice cross guard. And I'm wondering how much that's actually going to be useful for someone with this weapon, because it's going to be cutting heads off left and right. I don't think it's much of a kind of like armor-based weapon, really, is it?
Bram has suggested the Indian swords with like a full circle in the middle of the blade. So if anyone's got a name for that, that would be really
fun. I think I know roughly what you're talking about.
Steve says, my bad, it's Xyphos, Xidhos.
Let's have a look. Xyphos.
Jeremy has joined us as well.
Oh, hi, Jeremy.
Thanks for joining.
I know what you mean. Yes, okay. Yeah, these guys. I like that a lot, actually. Should we go for... That's quite a lot like Sting, now that I think about it, from The Hobbit. So that's actually a really good reference that we could use. Let's do that. Let's one more time start from scratch. And I promise this is what we'll go for. Okay.
Kit has joined us.
Oh, hi Kit. Hello, how you doing?
And Trubit says Elven Cutlass.
Elven Cutlass, yes.
So quite a lot of
There's
variety of sword shapes.
A lot of variety. I think I like the idea of this Xiphos because the whole Sting reference, and also as in the weapon, not the musical artist, but also I think I can do some fun stuff with the actual blade of it rather than just working on the hilt, which I always like in a magic sword. I think I'm gonna try and elfify and therefore feify this weapon. So what would we have? I feel like there's going to be something at the top here, something flowery at the top, not quite sure what, and we'll have this hilt curve in a bit.
So does anybody know any facts about this new book that's coming out? Has anyone heard any advanced information on it? What was it called again?
I think it's The Wilds Beyond the Witchlight, which I actually wasn't like massively excited about until I read yesterday that part of the whole basis of the book is that it's designed for pacifist playthroughs, or designed to allow pacifist playthroughs, whether or not it's actually about that. And that has made me so incredibly stoked that I immediately went out and pre-ordered it. Because I think that's a huge part of the game for me. I'm not actually hugely into the combat side of D&D. It's everything else about D&D that I'm excited about. So having something that maximizes that seems like a really cool idea to me.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
But otherwise I don't know much about it. So if you guys do, I would love to hear about it.
Oh, Steve has said, I still like Jonathan Foster's idea of the gauzy insectoid wings at the hilt for a guard.
Oh, yes.
So I think that could be...
I might use the gauzy insect wing to be the blade, because the blade actually curves out quite a lot like an insect wing.
Yeah, you could do that.
I think we could do that. I think that'd be quite fun.
You need to add something that's quite out there, you know. It can't be just your average sword.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what sword Lewis Carroll would come up with, you know? And so far, weird and probably having some kind of face on it. It's about as close as I can get. But let's see what we can do.
Troommate says some great interviews with Chris. Massive Fey Carnival.
Ooh, very fun.
Yeah.
Fey Carnival.
I mean, you could really go to town with those descriptions.
Yeah, for sure.
What would be a Fey Carnival?
Yeah, my goodness. I love games in D&D as well. Like, I know D&D obviously is a game, but like, I love the kind of what would you call it? Like when you get to gamble in D&D and all this kind of stuff. Like you get to do all the little, even though players always like triple their money, you know, like little card games and stuff that really humanize it, you know. Really make it a part of the
there's sort of details of what the people in that world
do
in their downtime,
totally,
not just what they're doing when they're active in a story.
Yeah, absolutely, I love that. Let's see, I think
York says if the official illustration is Enko by, it's just a standard looking longsword.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, I'll be honest. Like, I think it's cool, and I get the reference to The Legend of Zelda. That's totally fine. I absolutely get why they would want to do that. But that just seems a bit, like, lame, you know? Like, that seems like... That would be fine for a +1 or a +2 magic weapon, but a Vorpal Sword is a +3 magic weapon that can instantly decapitate people, and therefore I think needs a bit more pizzazz. So pizzazz we shall have.
Jonathan Foster says, can you imagine if someone made the sword when it's finished, say, out of wood or something?
Oh, my goodness.
We've got it in writing now.
I see.
That's a contract.
Also, that means I need to make this as complicated as possible so that Jonathan needs to buy a whole new set of wood-making equipment, wood equipment to laser cut this. My goodness.
Oh, yeah, good point. I hope it makes a droning noise while swinging it around.
Ooh, yeah.
Definitely come with some sound effects.
I think these little wings, like maybe that's where the snicker snack comes from in the poem. Like when they clap together, like there's got to be something that folds together or something. That would be quite fun.
York says, perhaps blade could be a little bit longer so it can decapitate heads from slightly further away.
That sounds like a very good call. Let's definitely do that.
And Trimit says got to love an internal mini game. If anyone wants to share with us what games they put in their game,
yeah,
that would be cool.
That sounds lovely. Yes, please. Let's do this.
Oh, that's Kit says, doesn't the Vorpal Sword make a snicker snack sound? I imagined it to have a scissor shape.
I was kind of with that as well. Yeah. So there's one of my favourite book. I've never actually read the books, but I've seen the TV series. Is Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency? Is that what it's called? Where in one of the most massively off the wall. And it's already pretty off the wall episodes and like series, they go to a fantasy dimension where people use scissors as swords, and I really love that idea and have put countless swords in my D&D campaigns which no one ever picks up that are very clearly scissors, and they're like, oh well, that's a bit crap because it's a set of scissors, but it's like huge fighting scissors. I love the idea of that. So yeah, I'm totally with you. I love that idea. I do also want to tie in these gossamer wings. So maybe we could kind of like pivot this on one side slightly when I'm drawing it. Once I've done the line work, and we can kind of like nudge it, make it look like there are two blades, or maybe they kind of.
I was going to say, could they be two separate blades that click into each other? Could you team up the Vorpal Sword with the Winxy? Oh no, it's Winxy Pistol.
Yeah, Winxy Pistol. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, unfortunate, but yeah.
Cav says the oversized mundane items as other tools has a very feel to it.
I think so, yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
York said in that case maybe it's scissor blades shaped sword like the one from Kill la Kill.
Kill a Kill. I don't know it, but oh no, that's an anime. So I've not seen it, but I know I've heard that name before. I swear I'm a cool kid. This is the problem with talking to Yorick, because he's watched like everything, and then he'll go like, oh, have you heard of this thing? And the number of times I have to say like, no, I've not heard of the fun thing, you know. Like,
you've always got a very good memory. Yorick.
He fills me in, but I do feel like I'm, very, very lame.
Drewmate says laughing sword, like the snickering and the snack sound off with the head.
I like this idea. I definitely like the idea of like tying a face into.
And Steve says loving that scissor sword nicked.
Yes, for sure. I think we've got like something quite good in just the base silhouette here. But I do definitely want to maybe stretch that out a little bit more.
Bram says, isn't Kill la Kill where that little pog champ meme kind of came from?
Oh, is it?
Is that ringing a bell to you? We're too old.
I'm sorry, we're not cool. I wish we were.
We're still millennials, we're not good.
Yeah. Pog jump. I've got like.
Sounds cute.
It does sound cute. I've got like the guys from the new Star Wars films, like the little like puffins meets hamsters kind of fusion that they came up with. They were very cute. Right, okay, so how
Ethan Aurelius does bait with just a pair of scissors. Oh man, we're not getting the references tonight, guys.
Sure does. I know who that is. I've never felt older than on this stream. Okay.
Nikolai says Ted made a live stream and gave us a sneak peek of the book. I think you can do things like flail snail race and catch the goblin games.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Can't remember well, but the games are wacky.
That sounds real fun.
Eric said, porgs.
Porgs!
Oh, that's what you're thinking of.
Yes, porgs.
Thank you, Yorick.
Thank you, Yorick.
And now that he said this, I can't unsee it. He says, so far I love how it looks like it's got 4 eyes. So I can now see eyes with little eyebrows and a little smile.
That's kind of, I'm going for like...
You're going for that.
Yeah, I'm going for like Cheshire Cat kind of, like
okay.
It's hiding away kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, right. So it's not unintentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Right, that's... I think I've got... So, does this look like scissors? If I did that, like, this is only the sketch phase, obviously, but, like, from this, is it clear that I'm intending that to be scissors and a sword? That there's going to be, like, a little thing here, like a little connecting doodad about here-ish?
Yeah, I think if you open them slightly more, it would be more obvious, but I think if you do some nice clean line work over that, it will be quite obvious, I think.
You know what, does that mean I need to have a second kind of hilt thing? I do need a second hilt thing that connects that.
Maybe need more of a screw or the sort of rotator.
Yeah, the little, okay, so hang on, so that needs to come here, and then there needs to be like a second bit that comes out.
Bram says, in real life a Vorpal Sword would just be a razor.
Yeah? I mean, yeah?
Okay, yes, they are saying it does look like scissors. So
okay.
It's very good.
I appreciate that.
It looks like scissors. Also, dragonfly wings, very fey.
Yeah.
Smiling. Yes, he is smiling.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's go for that.
It looks like the tail of a peacock.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Like a raptor dinosaur.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Yes, please. Let's do this and do that. There we go. Okay, now that's a bit more clear that that's scissors. I think that means I need to kind of discard this bit of hilt and put...
Oh, that top bit is kind of hidden a little bit by your Arcane Forge logo.
Oh, is it?
Thing. So you might want to just move your sword to the right or left or angle it.
Can I do that?
Just remember that there's that bit on top.
Good to know. That's very useful. Thank you. Oh, actually, you know what I can do? I can do this. I can do this.
Is this one sentient as well, which is an important question? And Jordan Foster says decorative hinge pin.
Yes, decorative hinge pin for sure needs to be in this. I think if that's flat and then we have this like that and then this goes out here and then this comes out here. There you go, I'll get it from that. Okay, I like that. So I hadn't intended for this to be a sentient thing because we're just doing a standard Vorpal Sword. This is not even the Winxy pistol. I want to hear your ideas for like Winxy pistols as we go on because I can now start the line work phase of this, I think. And I am going to try and shuffle it down a tiny bit.
Sentient but has the intelligence of a beetle.
Oh.
I mean, nobody said it needed to be smart.
That's very true. I like that. That's pretty cute, actually. Right. And make sure to save, Josh, so we actually keep having these things. And yeah, we'll start on the line work. These are great ideas, guys. I'm liking this. See, this is way more fun than a traditional Vorpal Sword, I think. I think we've got some cool stuff going on. Alright, let's go for this and see what we come up with.
It looks like the tail of a male velociraptor if they had colourful feathers like parrots and peacocks, which is cool.
That sounds fun.
Mark says, I love how the handles look like bunny ears, like the White Rabbit.
Oh, yes, I totally intended that. No, that's not my intention, but I'm very glad that comes through because I want this to have some, Elf and some Lewis Carroll and, all that good stuff. This is, I think the Feywilds, I would really love to do a video like just on the Feywilds because I feel like it's one of those things that it comes up all the time, but it's not really completely described. And maybe the Wilds Beyond the Witchlight will describe it more. I assume it obviously will. But it would be nice to have like a kind of, what can you expect from the Feywilds? Like what would be really fun to have there? And I think a lot of the time it's kind of deliberately left vague because everyone should have their own, version of this thing. But, what could it be like? What is actually you guys? What have the Feywilds been like to you if you've ever sent adventurers through there? I'd love to hear it. Cause
I feel like you could do like a 10-hour series on the Feywilds alone. Like that's your
I absolutely love it.
Things.
Yeah, I love throwing a lot of Feywild stuff into my games.
Steve says, fair play. My players are going to meet a Vorpal Sword near the end of the arc that they're just started.
Excellent.
It now looks like scissors.
I'm glad.
Nikolai is saying, how would someone fight with it? So that's a really interesting thing.
That's
I don't
really
think I've
cool.
ever seen sort of scissor-like weapons used in any sort of form.
I mean, there was that TV series that had the kind of like duelist who was using scissors as swords. The
Dirk Gent.
Dirk Gently, yeah.
Oh, I have then. I've just totally blanked it from my memory.
That's alright. Which I would highly recommend, guys, if you get the chance. Was that the second or the third season?
I think there was only 2 seasons. So I think season 1 is in a sort of version of our world. Season 2 is where they wake up in the sort of dream world. And I don't think there was a 3rd season.
That's really weird.
But
someone
can let me know.
Yeah, it's very cool anyway, and like it will feel off-putting the 2nd season, but I will urge you to stick with it.
And it also has my favourite character ever, who's the Bart, who's just directed by fate. She can't make a wrong move because she's just a vessel of fate, really.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic character concept.
Truemate says it's looking a bit like a carnival mask, which is cool.
That's cool.
Lynette says, my 14-year-old son would love watching this live, the nerve of school getting in the way. He watches your Monster Mondays with great delight. Can't wait to show him this when he comes home.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
And shout out to Lynette's son.
Yeah, absolutely. If you'd obviously you don't have to, but if you would like to give me your son's name, I will give him a shout out while we're doing the live stream and say hi for when he watches it later on.
Yorick says that his version of the Feywilds takes a lot of influence from Alice in Wonderland, Oz, Narnia, and the movie Annihilation, which sounds like such a great combo.
You've nailed it, Yorick. You've absolutely nailed it. That sounds great.
Jonathan's version, he said that it always strikes me as very insectoid, which is great. So it has that kind of alien feel to it.
I think insects are a really good place to go for fairies because it's like they can be beautiful and interesting, but ultimately an insect doesn't think like we do, and they are,
they're so other.
Yeah,
aren't they?
They would be completely psychopathic, and not in a kind of like ragey, murdery type way, but like just they wouldn't think in any capacity like the way we do, and I think that's absolutely fascinating. So yeah, insects. I like to do a lot of insect stuff with the Feywild, and also a lot of sort of sentient plant things. I think is always very fun. Yeah, I tell you what, actually, one of the best representations of the Feywilds for me was that fantastic book that Mr. Norrell and Doctor Strange or something like that.
Is it Jonathan Strange and
Mr. Norrell or something?
Norrell.
Either way, one of my absolute favourite representations of fairies and the creepiness thereof, and the beauty of it as well. This kind of like enchanting, otherworldly, but otherworldly doesn't necessarily mean good. It just means other world. I love that representation. I thought that was fantastic.
Okay. Jonathan's saying the grips can hold together and it's like a single blade, but each handle can pull apart as 2 swords.
Absolutely.
So I think that's so cool.
That's so what we should be doing.
And if you think about the choreography of like some of the fights that you could have with a sword that can like click together, be one massive set of scissors, and then fold apart and be thrown to someone else.
100%. Yeah. Imagine if you were in a dire stretch and you had to like unscrew the blade to get it unstuck from something just in time, and you only have like half the blade or something, I think that'd be absolutely fantastic.
Drewmate says, I love the smile, it looks great. And I think that smile has that slightly menacing thing like you were talking about, right? Like could be the intentions of the Feywild could be easily misunderstood.
Yeah, for sure. It's the Feywild has fun with or at you. I think that's the important thing, you know.
And Linessa's son, his name is Derek, and he plays a Lich Paladin.
Oh, fantastic!
Just talk about conflicted.
Yeah, goodness me. Well, sorry, what was his name?
Derek.
Derek. Well, hello, Derek. I hope you're watching this, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you had a fantastic day at school as well, and thank you for watching my videos.
Oh, and Jonathan says, dude, I just started watching Jonathan and Mr. Norrell. We actually haven't seen the whole TV show.
Yeah, we've not actually seen the TV show because we were reading it.
Reading something.
Yes, we were. Okay, right, we're going back to it. But yes, one of the best representations of the Fae ever. Hard recommend. And I'm excited about the TV show. I've not actually watched it, but the book is brilliant. And if it's even a fraction of the book, you know, it doesn't have to work hard, you know. If it just takes even a single page from the book, then it will be perfect.
Nikolai says, from what I know, if the Fae weren't there, the Feywild would be super lively wilderness, where the plants are smart and will speak to you and then eat you.
Yeah, seems fair. I'm going to draw these little kind of leafy, feathery things that I've done here on a separate layer. So I'm going to draw over the top of them now. I just wanted to kind of warn people in advance because sometimes it can be a little bit jarring to see me working on different layers and like drawing over the top of stuff that I shouldn't be, but I just thought I would mention it just in case.
York says, for me the smile and the guard is a good balance between creepy and whimsical, just like the original Alice in Wonderland.
Excellent.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're getting the right balance here.
I'm very, very pleased that that's coming across.
Yep, and Steve says at Linus, that's some 10 out of 10 mothering, like right there.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Great to have family members that understand the game as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's very sweet. Do you DM or are you a player in this campaign as well? And how does that work? How are you finding it?
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more.
I think most of our families are not entirely sure whether we're playing a board game or like I don't think they have any real visuals. And
we had one of our non-D&D friends, which surprisingly we have, come and join us and like watch D&D because we talk about it all the time, obviously, and they sat there in bemusement, like confused as to when the costumes come out because they were like absolutely sure.
She was so sure.
Yeah, she was like, and when do you get in the robes? And it's like, if you want to buy me a robe, I'll wear a robe, but no, it's not part of the game.
I was so sure that sitting in a game of D&D would convert anyone to wanting to play it.
Yeah.
She was like, it was fun, but it's not for me. You know, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. What else have you got going on? Yeah, like this is the best thing. Yeah. But yeah, no, fair dues. Fair dues.
Drewmate says, the thing I like about the Feywild is the extremes of emotion taken form as beings, which I find more scary than the 9 hells or abyss.
Yeah, for sure. Like a literal physical dream includes all the horrible dreams that you have and the great dreams that you have all manifest.
Yorick says, I also can't help but wonder if the cults of Tiamat actively seek the sword out so they can more effectively decapitate their hydras more effectively.
Oh, that seems like a very cool thing. Yeah. Cool. I mean, they do now, Yorick, in my own headcanon. Yeah,
costumes be taking it to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did have one Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween where we all dressed as our character, and Josh, you kind of had like a blood splattered face or something.
Yeah.
And then Myrtle unfortunately had an accident in the house and had to be taken to sort of vet A&E with us with very hastily scrubbed off Halloween makeup on.
Yeah, it's like because it wasn't actually on Halloween, so it would have been weird to show up with us like wearing costumes and stuff.
Nikolai says, what I've just described is what would happen if you go outside the territory of the archery, because this is how the Feywild used to be before the Fey came.
Oh, interesting.
Ah, right.
That's fascinating. I've never thought of the Feywild before the Fey. I guess that's the wild, I guess. You know? The wild part of it.
I'm just going to grab a drink. Do you want anything?
No, you know what? I'm fine, thank you. I've got water. I'm very excited about this. I've never, I don't think too much about the combat, overly in when I'm handing out magic items. I tend to think of, what should this character be able to do? What's their fantasy in terms of their character? What things are they missing that they can't get from their class? And how can I provide it to them in the form of magic items, which tend not to be weapons, but sometimes they could be, if it seems appropriate. But now, illustrating this, I really want to give a player a Vorpal Sword, and carry on my trend of doing swords that look like scissors. This one actually seems like an appropriate version of that, I like it. I like it already. Get this little blade part going. I watched a video not too long ago about there are very special scissors, for bonsai trees, made in Japan. I believe they have a name, or maybe they're named after the person who is sort of creating them. But I found that fascinating, that there would be scissors for sort of different purposes and different sharpnesses and all this kind of stuff. So I feel like there could be a particular craftsperson of the Feywild who makes Vorpal swords. Maybe they are Vorpal, maybe that's their name or something, Vorp. Or maybe Vorpal is their name, like Vorpal Stevens. I don't know. But I think that would be pretty fun if there was a reason why they're called Vorpal swords, aside from just sounding fantastic.
Alright.
All good?
Mm-hmm. Steve said I dressed as Strad for a game 2 years back.
Excellent.
Crewmate says I can imagine dressing as characters and wishing my character wasn't so complex looking.
Yeah, totally. That's when it's time to hem back in your character design for a Halloween game.
Caveman says, what extraplanar realms might have been before they became whatever they are? When players interact with them is always an interesting theme.
For sure. I really like the idea of that, actually. Were the 9 hells created for the devils, or did they always exist, and what inhabited them before that time? Were devils and things corrupted by being put there, or were they corrupted and then put there? Obviously I know kind of that there is a lore version of these things, but it's interesting to think about when you're kind of world building for yourself. If, for example, I'm always interested to find out more about the Underdark and would love to talk more about it. But in particular, things like the Dark Elves and Lolth being in the Underdark, was Lolth being cast down into the Underdark something that corrupted her? Or does the Underdark itself corrupt things? Because there's a lot of really horrible things in the Underdark, for example. And I know it's not a realm per se, but it's almost its own realm, really, isn't it? It seems to have this kind of effect on reality. And I'd be intrigued to see if there were things that lived down there beforehand, or if there's just some sort of corrupting influence that comes from existing in such a place,
Gav says, I believe Queepos or Queepos from Pathfinder were the entities that supposedly inhabited the abyss before demons or devils or any of those existed. So.
Interesting, that's cool.
Okay, obviously I missed something when I was out the room, because Steve says, all caps, that's our next NPC stream sorted.
Oh yeah, I was saying I was talking about scissors, and I talked about sort of like this very particular type of Japanese bonsai tree scissor, which is named after the person who makes them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is a Vorpal sword, like, is it named after Vorpal or Vorp or Vorpal Steve, or
right.
that kind of thing? Are they a person?
Kit says Mr. Vor makes these swords for his pals. Bram says Al Vorp, craftsman of gardening tools that are unintentionally lethal. York says maybe Vorpal means fail in the Fey language because this maker failed to make a proper sword.
Oh my goodness. If he failed when making a sword that cuts people's heads off, what was his success like? But I like it.
Okay, and then going back to the Underdark. This delay kind of like...
Yeah, you get like a nice kind of...
Jumping back and forth, back and forth. Steve says, it's a realm in my game, the natives call it Argartha.
Ooh.
True Mate says...
Why have I heard of Agartha before?
Oh, I don't know. Steve, you could maybe let us know if that's a reference to something. True Mate says, what you're talking about, the Underdark is a lovely place. Frostmute, strange beauty can be found in the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Nikolai says, wait, what if Vorpal is a human Taki who invented the Vorpal swords, cut down the sentient carnivores plants to eat them? That's a cool idea as
cool.
well.
Yeah, I like that.
Awesome. But I like some of the suggestions for the origins of the sword.
I like this a lot. Yeah, this is definitely the next NPC live stream.
Oh, it cuts someone to the atomic level. Nasty.
Yikes. Sorry, I didn't mean that to be too loud, by the way. That was just a sharp intake of breath.
It might have cut out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Josh's mic, when we were playing D&D remotely during lockdown, I would be upstairs so that I would get feedback through Josh's mic, and I could hear Josh shouting and screaming in characters voices downstairs, and it was all getting cut out for everyone else.
There's a chance that I get quite animated when I play D&D.
Oh, Steve says Agartha is the hollow world mythology from Central Asia.
That's what it is, yes.
Agartha,
and the people decoding the legends. Yes, yeah, I'm with you.
The people of the inner earth.
Yes.
Yes,
that's a really... Oh God, that's such a cool bit of history. I love the idea of Agartha. That's what it was. I feel like we probably watched the same YouTube videos and stuff outside of this.
Garrett says, just like the Wonder Woman sword? Is that the atomic level cuts, maybe? Bram says, I think a sword that would cause nuclear fission would be a bit deadly to its wielder. Yeah.
Yes, probably. That's why you need that sweet radiant damage reduction. Okay, I have that and I have that.
I love watching your drawings when you have that mirror effect on or something.
Same.
Kind of like
I really enjoy using the mirror effect as well. It's very fun. Okay, let's go for this and do a little one of these. Get my grayscale on the go. There we go. Get a little bit darker so I can make this blade nice and shiny.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wonder Woman's sword is so sharp that it can cut atoms.
Jeez, okay. Another reason not to screw with Wonder Woman. Have you ever given a character a Vorpal sword, and did they use it to its fullest potential? Did you regret giving them a Vorpal sword, or did it seem really fun? Because I think it doesn't seem too overpowered, despite cutting people's heads off. It only does it on a crit. I feel like it's kind of, it would be paired well with like plot armor, or that kind of thing. Like, you're the hero if you have this because you're gonna defeat the bad guy. But I don't know. I don't think it's ridiculously overpowered either. I think it's a fun weapon. I really want to hear if people have had them.
Oh, Nikolai says the successful version of the Vorpal Sword can cut someone down to the atomic level if anybody didn't know what I was talking about.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Bram says Wonder Woman exploding the building she's in every time she draws her sword.
Yeah.
No, Yorick's not yet given anyone the Vorpal Sword.
Yeah.
I would be quite interested to know, like, what weapons did you give your players, and like how far did they stray from what you thought they were going to do with it?
I remember once you got a was it a dagger or something like that just like extended onto infinity, and then
did I ever use that?
No, it was very quickly retconned. It wasn't by me, it was by another DM, and they quickly regretted it because like the weight would be exponential or something like that, and it would just like keep going on and on and on, and you very quickly went like, I'm not interested in combat anyway, so never mind. And he was very, very relieved that didn't end up being an issue.
At least someone's relieved that I don't need enter into combat. We did have the session where a masquerade, but it's not quite a weapon. But you said that if we swap whatever mask we chose, we ended up having the qualities of that, and you could swap masks with other people or steal masks.
Yeah.
And then I stole the mask off the big bad and just kind of ruined the rest of the plot.
I don't think you ruined it. I think you had a great time, and that was a masquerade ball in the Feywilds, and I think that was great fun.
That was beautiful. Yeah, that was one of my favourite.
That was a really fun. Oh, I'm glad. It was a really fun session. Let's get this.
Yorick says in reply to Bram, true, but this is a world that has talking gorillas, giant alien hive mind starfish, and a multiversal force containing all kinetic force in existence, so reality isn't really a priority.
That is one of the fun things about fantasy, like it doesn't have to follow any of the rules that we have.
Oh, Bram also says, using treasure tables and accidentally giving your level 5 party a luck blade.
Ooh, that seems pretty deadly. I don't necessarily know what a luck blade would do, but just from the lucky feat, it's always like a terrible, terrifying set of circumstances.
Yeah. And then there's also always the disappointment of putting a great item in and just having it not used, like the cryptics of Loki.
Oh yeah.
That you put in, and we never really got a chance to.
I really want people to use that.
Was a single spell cast with that?
No, not once. There's also I made based on the Voynich manuscript, one of my favourite things from just general history. I made this thing that I called it the Manual of Yaldabaoth. And it was like my kind of equivalent of the Demogorgon, and it was like it allowed people to reverse the intention of spells, and that never once got used either. And I was like, I thought this would be so fun.
Or you can cast Wish with the luck blade. Yeah, that would.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah, okay, that would for sure do some stuff, wouldn't it? Yikes. Okay.
Frostmute says, I gave my players a pretty awesome elemental charging sword, and I was worried at how strong it would be. It was left forgotten in a bag of holding.
Oh, that's such a shame. Dear, oh dear.
I think all the DMs should get together and play a game, because they will all understand the pain of all the work that goes into everything.
Yeah. I feel you. I know that you put in 7 hours worth of work on this, but I'm still going to run down that corridor that you don't want me to run down. We do it too, you know.
So just to let you know, we're coming up on the hour mark.
Are we coming up on the hour mark? Wow,
yeah.
I've been working way more on this.
Yeah. Yourself tagging for the Vorpal. No, not the Vorpal Sword.
The Winxy pistol.
Winxy pistol.
No worries. I will just colour this very quickly then in that case, and you guys can start thinking about what a Winxy pistol is, what it does, if it's different from a Vorpal Sword. I mean, it could just be like a Vorpal gun, But is that fun? Is that what we want to do? You know.
Mm-hmm. Steve says we need a union. I think he's dead.
Yeah, yeah, we really do. I'd be down for that. I'll join the union of DMs.
Oh, and Nikolai says, if anybody doesn't know what tacky is, it's a type of wild/tame sheep that's very large and strong.
Oh.
I imagine it's probably used as a work animal. I didn't know that.
Interesting. I don't know that either. Is it like a mythological creature or is it a real creature?
It lives in Central Asia.
Okay, it's a real creature.
In the Himalayas.
Interesting.
Cool.
Very fun.
Okay, and York saying Excalibur or the Vorpal Sword. Brown says Excalibur because it's waterproof.
Ah. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Do you have a
actually.
preference? I mean, now that you're drawing the Vorpal Sword, it's going to be weird if you don't pick your own creation here.
Yeah, although I've just not had the chance to draw Excalibur yet. That's the thing.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, judging by what we've drawn so far, I will say I'll Vorp.
Frostmeat says, I love the guard detailing.
Thank you very
It's
much.
really awesome.
Yeah, I'm pleased with that. I'll do the little wings as well in just a second, so I want to multiply that.
Ram says, if the Winxy pistol is an actual pistol, I feel like it should look like the barrel is a French horn. Like that's a curling.
That sounds really fun. That sounds really cool. Yeah. It's going to be hard to not go for just pink. Oh, you know what? I love a pink. I love a pink. We're going for pink. There we go. Sorry, anyone who does not like pink. I do. And
you don't say.
What? Yeah, let's get the wings on, and then we can do. I kind of want to do. Oh yeah, actually that's what I wanted to do. I want to do.
Oh, Ket's not done his September yet today. What was today's prompt?
It's bone or tooth. I'm going to do that after this. I really am looking forward to doing that as well. Excuse me, Myrtle. Can I help you? She says snore.
Garrett says maybe you could take some inspiration from Bayonetta's pistols. They're certainly bright and colourful. Is that an
I'll Google them. It's a computer game of an anime type thing. I think it might be an anime as well.
Bayonetta pistols. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, decorative.
Oh wow. Well, they're very cool. I had in my head something like a flintlock pistol. I want to.
The French horn suggestions getting a lot of love.
French horn suggestion sounds really cool. I do love the idea of that.
Frostmute says, Swordtember reminds me, have you read the Sword's Web comic? It's so rich with inspiration and humour.
I have not read it. I regularly see parts of it come up, if that makes sense, like in various like Reddits and things, various subreddits. I do see the odd thing come up, and I love the sound of it.
Jonathan says the forward sight on the Winxy pistol is a rhino beetle horn. It extends down the top of the barrel and hangs past the end, which is really cool.
Very cool.
Yorick says maybe it could have 2 triggers on it just to make it annoying to wield.
You have to have an extra set of fingers to use this gun.
I mean, I quite like the 2 triggers thing. Perhaps there could be 2 elements to what it does.
Ah, yeah. So I did have like one idea of what it could do, which is like Wink talking about kind of blink, basically, so that you could shoot and then where it impacts you could teleport to, or something like that would be quite fun. But then like is that fun? You know, is that actually is that what you want? I don't know. Where am I putting that? Am I putting that above? The line work below the line work.
Jonathan's continuing. So the sight is a rhino beetle horn, and the hammer is a tiny top hat.
Oh, that seems very appropriate.
Just happened to switch like 5 valves to load it. Yeah, I feel like it should be, like the kind of thing like if Dirk gently picked it up, he would instantly be able to use it.
Yeah.
Or Dr. Harry, like no explanation needed, and then they would pass it to just,
some Dave.
Yeah, some Dave, and they would just be like, what? It would just do all sorts of weird things happen except for shooting. Yeah, swap places with what you shoot, that's pretty cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Swap places, yeah, that could be...
Change places!
I mean, you could jump off the edge or something and then shoot the other person.
Yeah,
it'd be like,
that's really fun.
If you were really confident that you weren't going to crit fail next.
Yeah, I like the idea of that. I feel like I'm getting bogged down with these wings. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's why. Maybe I want to put the wing thing.
It's looking cool.
Thank you. Yeah. And then I can do. That's all.
If it has a scope, maybe it could have an eye on the end to help see better. Steve says maybe the pistol casts slow or grease or web or something. Remember, it's supposed to be a vital piece of gear versus the Bandersnatch.
That's true.
That's
okay,
cool.
Right. So that's something to definitely think about. It's like how it interacts with the Bandersnatch.
I think that's looking awesome.
Yeah, I'm liking that. Right. Okay. We're going to leave that there. That to me is a Vorpal Sword. I like it.
Pistol to hold the Bandersnatch still. Vorpal Sword for snicker snacking.
That seems really cool. I like it.
Kit's got a suggestion. Any target struck by the
Winxy pistol.
Winxy. I want to say Winxy.
Yeah.
Winxy pistol rolls with disadvantage on any spells or attacks which rely on the line of sight until the end of their next turn.
That was a lot of sentence that I really didn't take in.
Any target struck by the Winxy pistol rolls disadvantage on spells or attacks which rely on line of sight until the next turn.
Because they're winking. I see what you did there. You get bonus points for puns. You do genuinely get bonus points for puns.
Frostmeat says it hits knees and only knees. And that's pretty brutal.
That's a Winxy pistol. That's makes me wince hearing it. Okay, right.
Oh God, do you remember people used to get the shoot here arrows tattooed above their knees?
What?
It was like a thing. It was like a weird...
Where did you grow up?
You know where I grew up.
I do know where you grew up.
York said you could also look at Rob Liefield's characters since they wield that. They wield what more look like parodies of guns rather than real ones.
See, actually, this is one of the things that I need to bring up in this stream. I know it's a bit late. I can't draw guns. I'm going to try, for sure. They're like...
Can you draw French horns?
Good
I feel like you might need a reference image for that.
I'll need a reference image.
You
I'm
going
to need
trace over a French horn. Otherwise, you might be here all night trying to get those
little noodly bits. Yeah.
So
basically, the way I draw, just fires knees. The way I draw, I don't know if it's the same for everybody. Again, I need to know how something works to draw it. And the less I know, the less well I draw it. I think that's maybe standard issue knowledge. But guns, I have no... they are just wands of death. I don't understand how that works. And I don't know any of the mechanisms, so I don't know where anything goes. It's like trying to draw anatomy, but not knowing where the bones go. I have no... It's like that and horses. The exact same reason that horse anatomy is weird to me. Everything else I can kind of figure out. I have a better understanding of horses now because you guys have asked me to draw so many horse-based things. And I like including guns in my D&D campaigns, like that level of technology. I like up to revolvers and kind of cowboy era technology. But I have no idea at all how any of that. I know the word chamber and hammer and bullet. I've heard clip. Sight. I've heard of sight. That's it. I have no functioning knowledge on how any of this operates. So I might have to Google like gun to know like how it do. So I'm gonna right. So what I'm thinking so far.
Great. I'll just catch you up on some comments first while you're looking for that.
Yeah.
Jonathan says the pistol is sounding like something a resource-deprived artificer shambled together in a back alley from refuse.
Yeah.
Frostmeat says the knee thing is maybe a bit too brutal for the Winxy pistol. Pistol.
Yeah.
Guns that just hate feet if they're based on Leafield stuff. It fires knees, says Cat.
Yeah.
It shoots bees, says Bram.
Why do I come to any of you for suggestions?
Tommy LeBlanc, who's new, I think.
Oh, hi Tommy. Nice to meet you.
He says if they're Vorpal Swords, then there must be Githyanki. Yep, Githyanki.
Yeah, Githyanki are a thing. Like, what does it say about the Githyanki?
Oh, Tommy, if you could let us know. It says if there's Vorpal Swords, then there must be Githyanki. I guess. Are they connected? Yeah, if you let us know.
I've done a video about them and I don't remember if they're connected or not.
Okay.
I feel like that seems like a thing. I know the Githyanki have silver swords of very special descriptions. Are they also wield? Are they also all about the Vorpal Swords?
Oh, let us know.
I'm a professional who makes videos about D&D for a living. I totally know the answer to that. I'm testing you. Right, okay. I'm flintlock, lock, pistol is my general basis of knowledge.
Cav says do a day of doodling guns and looking up some stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Ness says pew pew pew.
Yeah,
they pew. Same level of knowledge.
Yeah, so like I'm looking at a flintlock pistol and like my brain is going, I know that thing goes down and strikes the flint and then boom, but I don't know why any of the things are where they are on that. You know what I mean? This sounds dumb. I'm trying to I'm gonna draw a bit of a sketch.
Jump in.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw a bit of a sketch of what I see. Okay, and then we can fiddle with it and add French horn parts and like beetle parts and all this stuff, right? So
nice knees you have there. It'd be a shame if someone filled them with bees.
The bee's knees. My goodness. Right. Okay. Got a tube. Got a wonky tube. And the tubes actually doesn't come down because I would think a hand would go like here.
Oh my god, we've got Vorpal Blade in the comments.
Oh really?
It says here live on my naming day.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Hello. Hi Vorpal. How you doing? Do you make the swords? Is this we were just talking about this?
Steve says that they're on Team Frostmute. Trumpet gun with a rhino beetle for a sight and 7 triggers.
Yes, yeah, I'm liking a lot of this. It
says, could the pistol just be a grip with a little pixie sitting on a chair on it? And when you pull the trigger, a small mallet nudges them to throw a bullet.
I love that so.
And they shout bang every time.
I love that so much. That's my favourite thing that anyone has said in this chat. I'm sorry, you guys have all said amazing things, but that does win for me. Either way, I don't think that's what I can make a Winxy pistol. I want to make that a thing. I want to make that pew 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 a magic item. But I want to make a Winxy pistol, right? Yeah, I want to make a Winxy pistol also kind of cool, and that's just hilarious and amazing. How far away is that from that?
Why didn't you since you're on a timer tonight, you could always use an image of a gun as your base.
Yeah.
And just draw over it.
Yeah.
Rather than making life difficult for you.
That does mean I have to open Google, which everyone would then see all my tabs. Yeah, my terrible tabs and stuff that comes up, including my Facebook and all this kind of stuff. So
yeah, no. I did once sit through a professional presentation with a guy who then opened his YouTube account to show us stuff, and just all of the suggestions on the side were like popping cysts and infected cysts and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, don't use your powerful.
No, that's so grim.
Yeah. It did make the presentation more interesting.
I bet it did. Did you watch any cyst popping videos?
No, sadly not. It might have been more interesting. Bram says it works like a cannon, tube with powder in the back, the ball in the front of it, the flint is in the back, and it makes a spark so the powder goes boom, all pushed out in the front of the tube.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for...
Just think of it as a cannon, there you go.
Yeah, okay, I know, yeah.
You're suggesting the 2 triggers.
Yeah.
Maybe make it a beetle equivalent of a pistol shrimp.
Pistol shrimp.
The ones that, like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so cool. I've made that go down too much. It's a long thing. Yeah, okay. So that hand is like that, and it's like your hand.
Don't overthink it. Just go with it.
Yeah.
This is a pistol that doesn't exist, so it doesn't.
It's non-existent.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll start the stream. Right, no. Okay, there you go. So then it's got the little shovey doodad that you put in there for the gunpowder, but that can be replaced with something else.
An organic gun would be really cool and very fate. Actually, someone was saying something further up of it, like sort of being covered in filigree.
Yeah, I love the filigree stuff.
Flintlock style.
Yeah, Flintlock is great. I love Arcanthus leaf patterns and stuff, and that's why I love that kind of thing. Right, okay. That's my basic. I'm going for that as that's sort of a pistol. That is going to have to do for the basic idea. And now we can screw with that.
Frostmute says, Bombardier Beetle Gun. Sorry for shouting, because that's all caps. But inspiration hits hard.
Yes, totally.
Bombardier Beetle. I'm not sure if I know that one.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
I don't know what it looks like, but I've heard the phrase before.
Bombardier Beetle.
Right, okay. I'm saving that. And then let's look up a French horn as well.
Yeah. Oh, it shoots like a blast or something out of its rear end.
Are you looking up pictures of Myrtle?
Look at that. That's a really cool idea for a gun. If you
That
put a
is
handle
really...
on that.
Yeah.
And then with
That is really cool.
Although you have went quite far into the pistol designs.
No, because we could still do like beetle butt over here, and then the head is down here, and you're like holding the beetle's head.
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
think a bombardier pistol would be really cool.
Yeah,
like
and it stops me from having to draw a French horn, although that does sound really cool.
Oh, and a grip like a chameleon tail, says Jonathan Foster. Right, hang on, let me catch up.
Yeah.
All of this is so amazing. This community is wild, says Steve. Yeah, I think there's so many creative minds in these chats every time that we're working.
Jonathan Foster said something about a type of beetle for the site, which a lot of people were really interested in. It was like a stag beetle.
It was a rhino beetle. I think that's the one with the big. Well, obviously it's the one with the big horn in the front, right?
That's alright. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Oh yeah, no, that's really cool.
Cabman says, I had a few usable pistol shrimp critters items for a campaign once, loosely based on the tool breeders from All Tomorrows.
Oh, nice.
I made a bunch of exotic guns and quotation marks to hand out to gun classes.
Very cool.
Since Queen Titania,
yes,
is patron of pixies, do you think she was the one who made the pistols?
I do now.
Grip like a chameleon tail. Looks like a good base for a flintlock pistol. Yep.
Thank you very much.
The way it grabs. Oh yeah, that's cool. The grip like a chameleon. That way it grabs you and you don't drop it.
Oh, that's such a cool idea.
Save these gun ideas for a gun drawing day.
Yes, I will definitely. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So kind of vaguely beetly sights, but maybe the sights have to come up so you can actually see what you're sighting at. Which I like. And I love the chameleon. Yes.
Did you include that part about giants being as common across mythologies as dragons in your storm giant video?
I've not recorded the audio of it yet. It's going out on Monday, but I'm going to be working over the weekend to finish it. A lot of stuff has come up this week, and it's been very, very hectic and troublesome. But I will try my very best to remember that to include, because that is a good fact.
You can bounce between doing semi-technical attempts to explore the mechanics as it is and fantastical ideas that spring up between the learning. Alright, so that's Cadman's talking about doing a whole stream where you work on guns, learning how to draw them.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool idea. I love the idea of that.
I love the idea of an organic gun for this, or something covered in organic things like bugs and mushrooms, etc.
Yeah, totally.
And we've got Jane. Hello, Fancy Scissors.
Hello. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Cool. That's looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like this. I might sort of keep it in theme with the Vorpal Sword.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still like a sword maybe made of like organic metally stuff, but using all of these things as themes and elements.
I like that suggestion someone said further back about the gun being for sort of detaining the
for sure. Maybe we should talk more about what the pistol can do in particular, because like sure, operates like a normal pistol, got it, love it, but also like what are its kind of abilities and powers and stuff of that nature. I would love to hear your thoughts about that. And then we get some other Beatley stuff going on here, because we had some cool ideas for beetles, didn't we? Was it Hercules beetle? Oh yeah, the Hercules beetle is very cool actually. Maybe a kind of trigger inspired by that. That's a little bit weird. Maybe if I were to go... I'm trying to think about where fingers would go here. I'm guessing fingers go kind of here-ish. And then... So we'd want to have... Actually, you know what, I need to go back to my image of a flintlock for that. Okay, so that mechanism actually comes a little bit further back. And I should just beetle this up, basically, I think. I think that's what we should do. Yeah, screw it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make this. We're going to go Command G, and we're going to turn that into a gun sketch zone. And I will include that in there as well, so I can make that. No, I want to do that to the whole thing. Thank you. There you go. Make that slightly less visible. But yeah, I do like the idea of having a day kind of drawing pistols and so on, and like guns in general, just like figuring out how they actually work. It seems like a very worthwhile endeavour. Line work. Here we go. Right, and let's get some flair, because I think some of the fun parts of the sword came out through just like playing around with what line work can be, and sort of like playing with different line weights and stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of go with my gut and just draw some fun patterns and things that come out of this, and we'll just kind of see, I reckon. So let's go for it. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's change the width of that to 20. Just see. This is going to be like a rhino beetle from the Feywild, so it's going to be like an extra rhino beetle, you know?
Okay, I've just come back to see all caps Woodlice of Death. How do you portray the Feywilds in your games / worlds, technically? Can maybe come back to that. I'll just catch you up in the comments first.
Yeah, please.
Maybe it fires homing projectiles. I imagine that would be helpful against Bandersnatch, says York.
That's a good call.
Yes, Val says, today on British people don't understand guns. Yes.
Yes.
It's very true. Unless it's like clay pigeon shooting.
Even then.
I
have been clay pigeon shooting, actually. I enjoyed it very, very much.
One finger would go around the trigger so that the hand would be slightly further up. don't know if you were talking about hands.
I was talking about like where things would necessarily go.
Mist shots turn into beetles that fly after people. That's
cute. That's really cool. Yeah.
You know, the chameleon tail reminds me of that old medieval depiction of the chameleon, which reminds me of the medieval stream coming up. So sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The medieval stream.
That's going to be very cool. So that's for the Cryptober coming up. I'm going to do a medieval monster illustration thing, like turning them into real monsters for D&D, and kind of maybe like making them a bit more realistic and a bit more, well, it's hard to get more fun than just medieval creatures, but like what would they look like if they were like
just
real organic stuff? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it's going to be very, very fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Beetles let you play around with iridescence, which I'm sure you're into.
I'm very excited about. Yes.
Could the mist shot beetles just fly off and start their own life somewhere? Says Kit.
Oh, yeah.
The balls that shoots are roly-polies.
Oh yeah, that's woodlice, I think.
Oh yeah, I kind of love all the different names, because we call them slaters in Scotland, and you call them cheesy bugs.
I called them cheesy bugs. I don't know if that's an actual thing in general, but as a child I called them cheesy bugs.
So roly-polies are woodlice.
Yes, they are indeed, yes.
The rounds could leave a slow effect by clinging to their target, or tracker rounds by glowing. Steve says, oh, that's what a roly-poly is. I was thinking of the pudding, so was I. Yeah. People shot get launched into a random direction, like the infestation spell.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Firefly rounds, says Bram.
Excellent.
I do love a gun that shoots puddings, and I want to homebrew that. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Shoot your own face every time you get hungry.
Yeah, straight in.
Maybe it can fire hallucinogenic powder as well. That's pretty cool.
That sounds very cool. Do beetles have ommatidium, or do they have like little black eyes, just little shiny spears?
2 seconds, I will Google that.
I've never actually looked close enough at a beetle to find out.
I've never thought about it. Let me see. Just as most insects have compound eyes.
Yeah, okay.
At the very front of their heads, yeah.
You know what, I'm going to do it for this anyway, even if they don't. I think it seems like a nice feature.
Most beetle larvae have 1 to 6 simple eyes. Right.
Made this beetle look really angry, and I didn't intend to. I feel like
if it's glued to the front of a gun, it would be.
That's very true. That is true. I'd be irked by that personally.
Captain Dutchman.
Oh yeah, he's on Discord. He's on the Discord.
He just joined us recently. I think I saw.
Yeah.
Right. It says it does look like a trickster weapon. To be fair.
Oh yeah.
A few charges of reduced spell on shot as well. So it's true, mate.
Oh, that sounds very, very cool. Yeah. I like the idea of this.
I guess since you mentioned the Discord, you want to plug the Discord?
I do want to plug the Discord. The Discord, if you guys are not already on our Discord, we have a very, very lovely Discord which is full of all these wonderful people who are talking in the chat right now, and some people who have not joined us tonight, I guess. I don't know how many people are actually in the stream tonight. But I would highly recommend it. I will, if anyone could leave a link to it. It is open to absolutely everybody. It's very active. We have sort of like art channels where we share art. Sometimes we're in the kind of voice chat thing, doing like a chilled out miniature painting, I guess, streams and stuff. It's just a nice place to chill out. So if you'd like to join and say hi and be a part of the community, you're very, very welcome.
Kat's in the chat. Hi, Kat.
Oh, hello, Kat. How are you doing?
I hope your trip back home is going well. Right. Maybe it shoots ice darts that melt after impact. That's
very sneaky. That's how you do a real evil. Like that's an Agatha Christie, isn't it?
Yes, isn't there? Is it Roald Dahl? One of his adult things. There's
really?
like a scene. Roald Dahl has like adult short stories, and I think there's one where the wife hits the husband over the head with a frozen ham and kills him with that, and then cooks it and serves it to the policemen that come around to investigate and steer his death.
That's why you don't eat on duty.
Oh wow, Jonathan Fraser's just sent a digital tip.
Jonathan Foster?
Foster, what did I say?
Fraser. It's good. I'm sure he's, yeah. But yeah, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Jonathan. York says, maybe it's like a wild magic surge where the effects of the shots are random except for when it's aimed at a band or snatch, which is really cool.
York knows I love a wild magic surge. Wild magic is my favourite thing in, like, chaos in general is my favourite thing in D&D. It disappoints me that the wild magic surge table is not as absolutely chaotically mad as it could be. And various people have sent me links to various websites and things of that nature that have endeavoured to make the wild magic surge table more wild to my liking. I both am excited and pity any players who choose to be wild magic sorcerers at my table, because I love the absolutely random effect when you shoot.
It's rolled out, and also Jonathan Creek.
Is it Jonathan Creek?
It feels very Jonathan Creeky. I love Jonathan Creek.
I never actually watched Jonathan Creek. I feel like I would really enjoy it. I feel like I would really love it.
You would enjoy Alan Davis's hair.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Look at this.
I noticed. I don't think Aldrin has been able to join us. And have you noticed how silent Myrtle is?
Yeah.
When she doesn't have her fan base to ham it up for her. She is actually in the room.
Yeah, she's made one little noise.
Steve says, maybe if it fires something that glows, it has a similar effect to fairy fire.
Yeah.
That would be useful against something that's nippy and hard to hit.
Definitely. Fairy fire needs to be absolutely a thing it can do.
Nikolai says, consume energy. If a creature is hit by the Winxy pistol, it is cursed for 1 minute. If a cursed creature travels more than 1,000 feet in that period of time, fights or casts a spell level 3 or higher, or ... I guess he's got cut off.
Yeah.
York says, why not a Winxy table?
Yeah, Winxy table, 100%. That's going in. I'm straight up putting. Maybe it has like spell-like effects, and you can use the spell. And if you use any kind of spell-like features, instead of having recharges, you have to roll on the magic item surge table that have 50-50 of being like good or bad. So you get to use the spell, but the downside is you could also like cast fireball on yourself, you know, that kind of thing. I love an item with a consequence.
Okay, so anything that travels more than 10,000 feet in that period of time, fights, casts a spell, level 3 or higher, or anything else that is going to take a level of tiredness. If it does both, it takes both, says Nikolai. So that's cool.
That's both it takes. Oh yeah, okay, I can get that.
Bram says maybe it could have a once a day effect like the Pokemon Trick Room move, where slow creatures become fast and fast creatures become slow. So the rounds it fires are really slow.
That's a really cool idea. Yeah, okay, so it like uses the Bandersnatcher's speed against it. Would be a really cool feature. I like that a lot.
Truemate says, got a wild magic sorcerer in the group, but Surge didn't trigger it ever, so DM decided to increase it by 1 each time, missing the Surge roll.
That's a great idea, yeah.
Magic Surge to reload. Love it, says Steve.
Oh yeah, Magic Surge to reload. That's a really cool idea, yeah. Nice. So this is kind of hard because this is like the point where I'm doing pistol mechanic stuff, right? But I don't know enough about pistols to know, like, is this a thing that I could embellish and it would still like function, or am I just like, am I making something look super weird? I suppose it doesn't really matter, really, does it? It's fantasy. We can suspend some disbelief. I just like to have it kind of work. We'll see.
says, what about some noisy cricket style kickback on the crit field?
Yes, very cool.
Oh my god, cricket kickback on the crit field.
Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Could give gun a spell list with a load of charges with different costs.
That's a really nice idea, yeah. I love that.
This is looking really cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Glad. Because I'm like a little bit... I feel like I can see it in my own line work that I'm nervous about it because I don't totally know what I'm doing. Which is not...
I think everyone's got it right. You used to just spend like a day just drawing different versions of guns and pistols and just get comfortable with it. But it's not coming across like that to my side.
I appreciate that.
I feel like also it's quite well disguised. You haven't had to stick to the original handle. You've got a beetle disguised in the front, so it's like
you
know.
There's all sorts of bits. I think as well, like there's God, what was it? What was I? Yeah, when we were living in Edinburgh, I used to go to the Museum of Scotland there, and they had like loads of machines and mechanisms and medieval weapons and all this kind of stuff. And like I'd go there and draw sometimes, and I should kind of go back and do like a day drawing.
A drawing day.
Yeah, go back there and just bring a little seat and draw all the stuff that's there because it's a great idea.
See, just to remind you, George, you could have drawn a fairy in a chair with a Rube Goldberg trigger mechanism.
I do love that so much. I'm 100% doing that. Or if not, I actually like Kit's a fantastic artist. He also does live streams, and I would love to see you do that in particular. I think that would suit your style very, very much. I would also love to draw that, but I think it's your idea, and if you want to call dibs on drawing that, I would love to see you make that item.
It says, if you can see cricket kick back on a crit fail 5 times fast without messing up, then you get 1 HP back.
I like that.
York says, so is it never take a Vorpal Sword to a Winxy pistol fight, or never bring a Winxy pistol to a Vorpal Sword fight?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the answer?
I think you should. So I think both would be like you're guaranteed to win against a Bandersnatch kind of thing, or like your chances are super high. But I don't know if one should be more powerful than the other. You know, I don't know if it should be like. I don't know. Good question, Yorick. Though, what are the
Is that from the?
No, that's not a thing. That's just Yorick asking. I think.
Oh, okay. I thought that was maybe like a quote from the book.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's gone over my head, and it's a reference that I don't know. But I would assume that's just like don't bring a sword to a gunfight type deal.
Oh, okay. Yep.
You know. That old chestnut. Actually, when you were saying that Kat was in the stream, I missed her live stream yesterday. I've been trying to. She does like a community thing, which I really love, and may have to steal or something. I don't know, like a kind of draw with me thing with the community where everyone gets to draw on like the same page.
Oh, really?
And yeah, but
How do you do that?
She leaves a link to it every time she does a stream. That you can just like click and you can join her, and there's like a website that you can use. I've been thinking of doing it for interviewing artists where we can like draw on the same page together while we chat. But I keep forgetting like the password to my Twitch and stuff like that. So last time I had a real kerfuffle trying to get it sorted out, and I forgot to actually log in this time and watch it, which is a huge pain in the butt. But I really wanted to do that yesterday, so I missed Kat's stream. But if you guys do want to see some more art streams, both Kat and Kit, who are a couple out of interest because that's amazing, they are Kit Kat, are both artists and do great streams, and they are part of the Discord. I'll send a link when they next do streams. But I highly recommend.
Apparently it's a gangster thing. Never bring a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
I'm not cool enough to do that.
I think you're cool.
Truemate says, depends how fast you can run with a Winxy pistol.
That's very true.
York says, surprisingly enough, gun swords were a real life weapon and not some. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as a kid. There was a museum where I lived that had a sword that shot little tiny little pellet things from it, which is pretty cool.
When I was in Yorkshire, there was the Royal Armouries, which I used to go around and draw all the stuff that was in that. And they had some fantastically weird weapons and tools. I actually abseiled down that building for a charity thing when I was in school.
How did that go?
Badly. I'm not good with heights.
How I imagined it might be.
Yeah, the guy at the top, when I was, because it was a charity thing, I kind of was holding onto the rope, absolutely terrified, and then leant back so my back was directly facing the ground, and it's like, it was something like
was this the guy you told to F off?
Yeah, I swore at him because he was like, okay, hold it just there and we'll just take a photo, and he was taking a really long time to like fiddle with his camera, and I told him to F off. I was not happy.
Was very unlike you at that time of your life.
Yeah.
You were a very, very polite boy.
Yes, it was not a good day for me. I was like, yeah, I'll do a nice thing to charity, and then it was like, nope, this is an awful thing. Why have I done this to myself?
Alright, so we've had mention of the gun sword, and then someone says, I love the gun shield better, and someone else says, I'm a fan of the gun axe.
Oh my god.
And yes, Laval says, now I'm thinking of the gun Bible.
What? Is there something?
Reality is just as cool as fiction. Yeah, you're right.
Are there any things that people can't gun?
This just feels like a challenge.
Yeah, it really does.
Can you not Nikolai is asking, what's your opinion on the Shadowfell?
I think it's underutilized, especially when it's seen as the kind of sister to the Feywilds. I think it's not completely well defined, and I'm not a huge fan of the things coming from there being defined as undead. I like the idea of undead being things that were once alive, and I feel like they should be called another thing. Maybe they should be outsiders, or maybe they should be, but I like the plane. I like the idea of it. I think it needs some work, and I don't think I understand enough about it to be the person to do that work yet. But I would love to do a series of videos about various planes and kind of talk more about them and how they might be utilised. So that might be a good thing to kind of do,
So Bible, a gun Bible is literally just a Bible with a gun in it.
Oh yeah, of course that makes sense.
Francis gun.
The gun? What?
Imagine a double-bladed orcish gun axe with dual pistols. The possibilities are endless. How practical would a gun weapon be, I wonder, says Nikolai. A gun staff, says Captain Dutchman.
Interesting.
Frostmeat says, I can't imagine Josh cussing. Oh, you should hear him all
I have cut.
Actually, we do. Scotland, and it's swear words in Scotland are not as offensive in general, especially on the west coast.
Yeah.
Certain words over there don't translate.
Don't carry the same weight.
Yes. Yeah.
He
says axe. Okay.
Double axe.
Gun and an axe.
Oh God,
there isn't anything that can't be gunned. Steve says, thank you, me neither. Shadowfell should be something unique, not an undead fest.
Yeah.
What if Shadowfell was just a distant future version of the Feywild, says Bram.
Ooh, interesting thought.
Gav says, how about some demon guns or devil guns? Guns with strange evil curses akin to folklore guns. Or even guns that are lesser demons themselves, living and corrupting.
That sounds cool.
Live stream for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we need ideas for the next Magic Item Workshop stream, because there's going to be one next month, I assume.
That's true. I mean, so next month is
Cryptober. So we need like a cryptid. Yeah. How do we do a cryptid themed? Weapon, yeah. Like, what kind of gun does Bigfoot use? Or is it just a set of massive boots?
Oh god.
I suppose magic item. It doesn't have to be a magic weapon. What am I talking about? It could be a magic item of various different kinds. So, yeah, a cryptid item, not necessarily weapon. We don't have to go with weapon, but you know, that whole chestnut. What do we do for that?
Steve Harrison is like, wow, I didn't even separate those words. Steve Harrison says, I remember the stream at the start of the pandemic where a bad word slipped out and Josh was immediately rewarded with a $20 super chat.
My goodness.
Yes, that was... Yeah.
I think there's been like one cuss in like every...
You're pretty good. You're pretty good at it. I don't have the off switch. Like I accidentally swear in front of my gran, and the looks that you get.
Yeah, my goodness, yeah.
Not approving, no.
Your granny would not be happy.
Jurassic Show.
That's
also,
Yorick.
Yeah, Yorick. I always just switch names around a bit. Also turns out that there's an official crossover between Transformers and My Little Pony called Friendship in Disguise, and I'm not making it up.
My goodness. That is a niche Venn diagram of people who would be interested in that, I think.
Gunman. For this, I guess these are for your cryptids. Gunman, Moth Gun. The Shadowfell does have Shadow Hounds, which are what they sound like. That sounds cool.
Yeah, Shadow Hounds are great.
Mothman wing scales consumed to have prophetic visions.
Ooh.
Bigfoot's gun would have a lot of kick.
Was that Kit? Or was
that was Kit.
Yeah, I was going to say, right. You can just go home, Kit, if you want to. That's
maybe next month it could be a disaster horn used to summon the Mothman.
Oh my goodness, that does sound cool.
Van Helsing crossbows, yeah, that's true. Chupacabra venom numbs apparently thins the blood.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Boots of footprint, shoes that make it look like normal people tracks. I love that trim move. Hat gun.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so there's like a cross between things that you could catch a cryptid with and things that you could make from cryptid or a cryptid would have.
Yeah, make you more like the cryptid kind of thing.
Yeah, I love that one about leaving people's tracks though.
That's pretty fun.
Have you announced what cryptids you're doing, or is that all top secret?
So my patrons know because they voted. They have already decided. I don't know if my patrons are in the chat. They can let me know if they would be happy with other people knowing, or they can keep it to themselves as some juicy gossip just for themselves.
A cake made with the pelt of the skunk ape, which wards off predators. Ooh,
interesting.
That one.
Yeah.
A bottle that summons haunted fog. Oh my god, I love that.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I totally want that for my characters.
Yeah, I love the sound of that.
So cool that you can move that around. I have not used that tool yet in Photoshop.
I love it. Sword Timber. I would not be doing Sword Timber if this tool didn't exist, because it saves you doing half of a sword basically.
Yeah. I was wondering how you've been ripping through them so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely would not be able to if it was not for that tool.
Bigfoot cloak, disadvantage on all tracking, perception checks, and perception checks are made against target. That's a good one. Oh, Nikolai's got to go.
Oh, thank you for being here, Nikolai. I appreciate it. Myrtle says hi, apparently.
Catman says globster sauce, a sauce with unknown properties.
I don't know globster.
Globster.
Interesting. That's a new one on me.
York says, I want to come up with an artifact that's tied to Trunco.
Oh, Trunco. Yeah, Yorick mentioned this one last time. I can't remember where in the world Trunco belongs. Probably somewhere in the States. But he is like a...
evil elephant?
No, it didn't seem necessarily evil, but like a kind of seal or an aquatic mammal, basically, that had like an elephant's trunk. Really, really long one. So it could have just been like a very peculiar looking bull elephant. No, not bull elephant. My brain is failing me. What am I going for? I don't know. But yeah, Trunco. Trunco's a real cryptid. As real as cryptids be.
Oh, a Nessie hat. Any picture of you immediately becomes blurry and low res.
Oh, that's really cool. I really like that.
That is cool. Oh, lobster is a catch-all for the various rotting corpses of sea animals that they end up becoming cryptids.
That's such a cool idea. Yeah, of course. Yeah, damn, I love that. The world is such an interesting place.
Trunco is a lobster, for instance, from South Africa.
South Africa. Excellent.
Trunco was just the corpse of a whale that was degraded, so its flesh looked streaky like fur. Oh. Okay, I'm looking up Trunco.
Why are you looking up Trunco after that description?
Well,
has that sold
what's
it to
in
you?
my head's first one, but
Trunco, I saw illustrations of Trunco and he looked quite cute. Bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
No worries. Bless you.
Oh, okay. It's very hard to see anything going on in those pictures, though. Okay, I'm still none the wiser, really, but
yeah. I'm getting too small to be a thing now.
or shoes made from the feet of the Fresno Night Stalker.
Oh yes.
It also sounds like a serial killer.
It really does, and that's what I thought I was watching a video about when I watched a video about that. I was really hoping to draw the Fresno Night Stalkers because they sound hilarious and amazing. But no, unfortunately, they are. Not unfortunately, they're very fun creatures.
Nessie's pouch of pocket change once a day spawns $3.50. Yeah. Trousers made of the. Oh no, I just read that one out. Fresno night trousers give slow falling and slow walking.
Yes, love it.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Steve says, legend, it's alright, that's enough now. Well, that was quite tame by my standards. I usually sneeze about 9 or 10 times in a row. So. Yorick saying, I believe that's the inspiration for the Zulu Maru. Zulu? Do you know that one?
This is probably something that I've been sent, but I can't remember quite what it is. Is it the Lucaru that maybe?
Was ZUYIOU. Zulu. Oh my goodness.
There's a really cool like French kind of snail thing that sounds a bit like that.
What is
but
that?
There's also a really cool werewolf type thing that it could be.
Oh, this is it was called the New Nessie.
Oh.
It was most likely the corpse of a basking shark.
Oh my god.
It looks terrifying though.
Let's have a look. If you've got it. Yeah, that's nice.
It looks like a dead Nessie.
That's nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
making me think of Studson Studios' Howl's Moving Castle legs. That sounds like a good thing.
I loved Howl's Moving Castle, and I can't remember what the legs looked like, but I will definitely take that because that sounds really wonderful. Thank you.
Cool. We're at 10-2 just now, so
I will.
Get on with the colouring.
Yeah, I'll just very speedily do these patterns, and then I will get on to the colouring. Thank you for the heads up.
Kraken compass, cursed item that leads you to your ship to the place it's most likely to sink. That's very cool.
That's a very cool idea. Occasionally summons krakens.
Sorry?
Occasionally summons krakens.
Who would win a fight, Trunko or Nessie? Well, I'm Scottish, so I'm going to say Nessie.
Nessie Pride, man. Gotta say Nessie.
Nessie would pull a knife, so don't worry about it.
Chibi.
What's the opposite of a cryptid? A real animal that people don't believe in? That's a good question.
Oh yeah, didn't you say something about seahorses? Or where I've heard the seahorse?
Oh yeah, one of my friends thought a seahorse was a fantasy animal until she was, I don't know what age, but maybe slightly too old to.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, I can get it.
If you believe that unicorns and stuff are made up, seahorse isn't that implausible.
Yeah. Again, it's like the whole thing. Like, if you ask someone to pick which one is not a real animal out of like a giraffe or a unicorn, and they'd never I don't know, they weren't familiar. Like, a giraffe is definitely the weirdest of the two creatures.
So you said Nessie would give Trunko a Glasgow kiss.
Yeah.
And Mark says sad Trunko and it. Yeah. We were talking during the week about sort of discovering the fact that back in the day they thought there was literally the equivalent of all land mammals had their opposite, I guess, in the sea. So henceforth, like seahorses and things like that.
Yeah.
And
which is mad.
Yeah. So
I love that. I love that concept.
They must have thought there was quite a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm. Sea giraffes.
Yeah, man.
I'd well want to see a sea giraffe.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why they believed that there could be a unicorn, was because the narwhal was in the sea, so therefore it must have the equivalent on land.
Yeah. Makes sense. In that it totally does not make sense, but I get you.
Oh right, Studson builds models out of junk in various bits. His Hell's Moving Castle took ages to make, but it's mesmerising to watch it get built. That's cool. So it's another artist working on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A friend in school didn't realise narwhals were real. Yeah, I mean, I totally understand that. They seem they look ridiculous. They look like a bad drawing.
Yeah.
You might think like the real one might have like a tiny horn or something, but they're so ridiculously proportioned.
Yeah. It's also one of those things like I remember when I was doing the unicorn video and I talked about narwhals a bit. It's like the fact that the horn thing is just one of their teeth that grows out of their head. It's like no one chose this. Like,
oh, my niece-in-law did not believe ducks could fly for a shamefully long time.
Oh, I suppose like chickens, I guess, like they're not very, they've not been bred for flight, Chickens can do a bit of flapping. They're not very, you're not going to see an airborne chicken for long. They fall with style.
Where we live, there's a lot of swans, and when you hear them flying for the first time, it's weird because they make this bizarre honking noise every time they flap their wings. They're like an accordion.
It's very sweet. Honk. Okay, I'm gonna call that the Winxy pistol. That's a weird ass thing. Let's do.
Oh, see, you said there's an island in the Pacific that will kill you with coconut crabs. Not kidding. These things will just kill you dead as soon as you arrive.
Oh my god.
Forget the name of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, remember, I don't want to go there. It's basically Spider Island.
Spaghetti of Yeti. Eating this delicious hearty pasta makes you able to resist the effects of extremely high altitudes. Let's go.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Oh, narwhal for tooth sword inspiration.
Oh, very good call. Maybe that's what I'll do after this. Maybe I'll just draw it tomorrow. I'm getting kind of fatigued. So I might save I might do 2 swords tomorrow instead.
Mm. Are you going to go for similar shading, similar colouring for the...
I think so. I definitely want to do the whole like beetle iridescent thing, and I definitely want to do some gold. So that's all I know so far.
Yes, Laval's leaving.
Oh,
Thanks
thank you for
joining
being here. I really
Cheers.
appreciate that. Have a wonderful day. Yeah, I'm liking how this turned out for not really knowing what a gun is. I'll spend some time doing some research. That's when I'm going to get an FBI agent on my thing. Just like this British kid keeps looking up guns.
Man, if the FBI were watching, they would have pulled you up for weirder things a long time ago.
Monster research, at least. You know. Okay. There's a bit of that.
I notice when you are working fast towards the end of the thing, your face gets like closer and closer.
I do
to the
lean,
camera.
yeah, I do lean.
It's like you're leaning forwards to...
Yeah. Like, go faster. It's like go faster
it.
stripes, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's get rid of that bit of grayscale. Oh no, I got rid of a bit of my tree. Undo clear. Oh yeah, that's a fairly obviously big bit of tree I didn't fill in. Get rid of that, and then we can hold on to that and get rid of that bit. Is there any more grayscale that I want to remove? I think that's fine as it is, and then we can get colouring. Yeah, I think using certainly this same gold seems like a good call. Maybe if I were to go back into Vorpal and then make that a normal layer. Let's see what gold I went for. I can pop that as the kind of main basis of this. And then I can work on some... Actually, was that a really dumb thing to do? I think it might have been. I need to make some little iridescent beetle boy bits now. So let's do...
Jonathan Foster says, hey, I'm guessing the FBI, didn't question you about the Claymore or the Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, that's very true. In our because I DM'd a bit of a game for Jonathan Foster. There was a lot of terrible things that came up in that session. His family basically like tried to steamroll through a dungeon by creating bombs, And I was like, this is going to be my first encounter with like an angry email from the government. I'm sorry, guys. I played a game with Americans.
Are they a terrorist or are they just playing D&D?
Asking the real questions. There's another bit of beetly stuff I want to do. I want to do that. Quite beetly. And that as well. That's great. You know, this whole thing. So I'm just talking to myself because I'm trying to figure stuff out. Yeah, I can go like this.
I'll be back in a minute.
No worries, you take your time. I will be still drawing this bit. And then we want a bit of people. Over here. Trying to make this iridescent looking. Yeah, and then we can filter and blur. Not that much blur, a bit blur. There you go, that'll do you. And then I can remove some of it. There we go. Yeah, this has been really fun, actually. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you have too. We're not too far off completion, I think, in terms of what this pistol is going to look like. And I definitely I love the Wild Magic Surge type thing. I think that was absolutely fantastic. I love the idea of kind of slowing down the mechanics of other creatures as well, like maybe switching initiative order or something like that. There was someone who said, I'll go back through when I'm making this, but I really love the idea of kind of using something's speed against it, and definitely that being something that would really hinder the Bandersnatch. It seems like an absolutely great idea. So I hope that's something that we can use for this. It plays into the whole chaos of the Bandersnatch and the Feywilds as well. You never know. I'll probably make this, and then not too long down the line, we'll realise that the Winxy pistol is actually in the official Wilds Beyond the Witchlight or whatever it is that's coming out. I'm interested to see, because I know the Jabberwock is in the Wilds Beyond the Witchlight, but I'll be intrigued to see if the Bandersnatch is as well. And how similar our version was.
Frostmute says, you're making my boring work day pass nice and quick. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet.
Wild Magic colour schemes, nice.
Thank you very much.
The mirror of shame, anyone who looks in the mirror has all of their life shown to them in their mind or in it as they look at the mirror, and must spend 1 minute every day since they've committed crying.
Oh
no, 1 minute for every sin they've committed to crying.
Oh right, okay, yeah. Okay, maybe not so.
Oh, that's a bit like we watched Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, we did.
The other night, and they look into his eyes.
Yeah,
and
the penitent stare.
All the terrible things that they've done.
Yeah, experience all the bad stuff they've done to people.
Oh, Nico's just joined us.
Oh, hello, Nico.
I think we're just heading towards wrapping it up, but feel free to.
Is that Nico's in 895 Ace? Or is that someone else called Nico?
No, I think it's someone else called Nico.
Oh, hello. Hello, new Nico.
The Juvaden whistle used to summon and command the beast of Juvaden?
Jivadan, yes. This is something that I'm guessing that's Yorick talking, because that is a beast that Yorick and I talked about on our Patreon chat the other day.
Alright.
Oh yeah. Okay, I am going to shuffle that around a bit. Image adjustments, hue and saturation. See if there's any more fun colours we can. Ooh, blue is quite nice. Trying desperately not to just go straight for purple. Oh, I kind of like the blue gun with the. Tough call. Yeah, I kind of like that actually. Like that kind of colours, and then
yeah, that's cool.
Turn that into a multiplier, and then we change the grayscale. Adjustments, hue and saturation, colorize that into.
Kaufman saying one interesting association I found was in Warhammer before they switched over to Age of Sigmar, had a Jabberwock as part of the Beastman faction.
Interesting.
They called it Jabberscythe?
Jabberscythe, yeah.
Or something though.
Sounds cool. I like the sound of it.
Sadly, the Bandersnatch is not in the new release that's coming. What's it?
That's okay. We've homebrewed some, so that's fine. We've got you.
When is that due to be released? Do you know?
I think it's the 21st of September.
Right.
Not quite sure. I think it's something like that anyway. I am liking that. I'm going to do a little magical sight, I think, just hovering above. And then we can be done, I think. New layer, magic, sight. And I'm going to do this final fun little tool that I've come to love. Where are we? Use that. We want to use mandala. We want to make an 8-pointed mandala.
I can't believe they've got all that built in.
You spent so long making little tools for that.
It's so long figuring out how to do that before and doing all the maths for it.
Looking a little bit dodgy.
Frostmute saying, I love the Feywild in general, and I'm glad my players are taking a break from their homebrew to play the wilds beyond.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
glad. There we go.
What's this extra bit here?
I'm just making a little magical sight.
Ah,
Or
that's
just,
awesome. What is the name of that tool? It looks so helpful.
So in the top right hand corner here, there's the symmetry tool, which has a mandala button that you can choose the number of mandosity of it, I guess, and other things of that nature.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, is that you asking?
No, that's Tribmate's asking.
Very cool.
I think Tribmate might have mentioned earlier on that they do a lot of photo manipulation.
Oh, that's cool. Let's go for go, and then I'm just going to...
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Jig. There we go. There we go. I'm going to call that a Winxy pistol. I'm happy with that. And I hope you guys are too. That was really fun to draw. It didn't end up anything like what I expected it was going to look like, but I'm even more glad of that. It seems this is something that you guys have helped create, and I really love what we came up with for both of these. Yeah, thank you so much for the first sort of live stream version of the Magic Item Workshop. I cannot wait to do more of these. Hopefully we can unlock more stuff through Patreon, and I will look forward to what we can kind of come up with together. In the meantime, I've got some sort of recording and stuff to do because I still haven't finished Monday's video, and I need to get that up and uploaded for you guys because it's going to be a real fun one. Yeah, keep thinking of ideas for what we could do for the Magic Item Workshop during Cryptober, which is going to be next month, where we talk about cryptids. And in the meantime, I hope you've just had a really nice night. I've really enjoyed chatting with you, and I've really enjoyed coming up with these weapons with you. I'll try and come up with some stats and stuff for the Winxy pistol based on what we've talked about, and I'll stick those on D&D Beyond or wherever else that I can actually sort of put them up. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to Yvonne for reading out everything, and just thank you for being wonderful. So,
yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah, cheers. Have a wonderful night, and cheers.
Good night. Or good morning.